Hi guys, welcome to another episode Complex Like Wine, the podcast where we talk about complicated things and improve over time just like wine does. I have my bestie, Souzy.
Hello. I'm very honored to be on this podcast.
It's going to be fun. So before we kind of dive into this week's episode, which won't be super thematic, we actually had met through Bumble BFF 2 months ago. And I think if you relate, let me know. But I think there's different types of friendships, of course, but there's those certain type of friends where you just instantly click. And for me, that was definitely with Souzy. Like, we instantly clicked. Our first date was we met at the gym and did a workout together, which was so fun. And honestly, ever since then, we talk every day and we see each other at least once or twice a week.
Like at least twice a week.
So the past few months have just been so fun and like a really good time. Today we went down to Newport and then we got permanent jewelry, got a little matching bracelets, and ate at the Lighthouse Cafe, which is right by the water, and took some photos. It's been a really good day.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's very rare to come across people who make you shine and make you believe like there are some genuine people in the world. And I feel like meeting Z was very much a blessing to me, and like she came at the right time. So it's really rare where you're going to meet people, but get the dating app. Who knows? You might come across a friend.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
So we're drinking Moscato.
And then we have the friendship edition.
Yes, so this episode, if you remember from the last season, I played We're Not Really Strangers with my brother. Well, I bought the friendship expansion pack, and I thought it'd be a fun episode to play with Souzy, especially because considering we're not a friendship it's not a friendship that's been established for a long time, and we did meet online, so I thought it'd be kind of fun just to see what kind of questions come up and to kind of see where it goes. And then on the bottom,
we have some snackies.
Our little makeshift little charcuterie snacky bowls. So yeah, have fun, enjoy, get to learn some tea about us. Maybe we'll see how this goes. But yeah, so how the game works is 3 different levels of quote unquote intimacy, like different levels of deepness. And so I guess we'll start with level 1 to kind of get a gauge. Okay. Well, that's a good one. What assumption did you make about me that was furthest from the truth?
Oh, I feel like meeting people on a dating profile, it's very hard because it wasn't really for dating, it's for friends. So just seeing who you are, I think I didn't really make any wrong assumptions. I think looking at your profile, it was more like you're very fierce, you're very independent, and you're outgoing. And honestly, I was spot on with all of them. So I think the only thing was I thought you'd be more shy and more timid because you're a smaller person. But in all honesty, you're more of a badass than a lot of the people I do know. So I think I was wrong on that.
For you, I guess, well, just me in general, I think I'm a little more like skeptical with meeting new girlfriends. Just because I think girls are just a little bit more dramatic, and sometimes can be petty, unfortunately. So because you're so outgoing and because we click so fast, I was kind of like,
too good to be true.
Yeah, like, is she
Where's
legit?
The red flag?
Yeah, where's the ick?
No, literally, what is the ick?
What is the ick with Souzy? So I think that was my assumption of like, I don't know how genuine this is, but she seems really genuine. And so yeah, that was for this true because you're very, very genuine.
Well, let's go into that. What is my ick?
Your ick? I feel like we talked about
our icks and people.
Well, that's true. Ick? I would say your ick.
We're gonna find the truth.
We're gonna find the truth. I would say, not that it's really ick for me, but if I had to pick one between the two of us, you're definitely the diva.
I'm definitely a diva.
You're definitely the diva. So I guess for me, that would be my ick. I'm so used to being with the boys where it's just no one's a diva.
I'm definitely the diva in there.
She's my passage from princess, like, and my gym princess. So that's what I would say maybe my ick.
Honestly, no, my favorite thing about you is the fact that you're like, you actually do all of that. So I'm like, I'm glad that I can be my little diva self. What is your ick is the fact that you like the mountains and hiking prefer than the beach. I want to be at the beach than the mountains, girl, but it's okay.
To each their own. Okay, you can pull a card.
Oh, wild card. Scroll through each other's Instagram. What photos would you choose for your friend's dating app profile?
Okay. That is a good one, but since they can't really see it, we'll skip.
Come back
So
to
you
this
can
one.
put this one here. Yeah, we'll put but we should do that at some point.
I'm like, that's interesting. Here. From your perspective, describe my ideal roommate who I could never live with.
Your ideal roommate that you could never live with?
Yeah.
So, like someone, yeah, ideally would never want to live with?
I feel like that's common sense. Like someone who's messy, like...
Oh, okay, they're two different questions. Okay. Your ideal roommate, I would say someone that's tidy, clean, likes to try new things. So if you're like, hey, I just want to be at the house, they're fine. Or if you want to like, hey, let's go out and like do something, they're just always ready down. Someone, especially if they're dating, that they're not the type where they go MIA. Like you would want some time with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then who could you never live with? The opposite of that.
Very much so.
Okay. This one says write down the first thing you notice about each other, but we can just say it. For you, I would say the first thing I noticed was maybe your giggle.
Really?
Yeah. Because you have your hee hee hee. I think when we started talking at the gym, I noticed a giggle. Because you also text the H-E, like hee hee.
People always tell me, like, why do you type it like that if you don't laugh like that? And I'm like, wait, but I kind of do laugh like that. So I just type it like the way I laugh. So it's like a hee hee. For me, it was your smile. You have a very big smile that makes someone want to approach you and talk to you. So you seem very personable from just your smile alone.
Oh. I do have a big cheese and smile.
Yeah, you do. You be cheesing hard.
I be cheesing hard.
Okay, let's do like one more from one, and then we can go into two.
Okay.
What about me is most intimidating, if anything? I feel like we've had this talk as well with like...
Yeah. It's not intimidating to me, but just in general for you. I think it's kind of the same for both of us.
Yeah.
We're very, like, we know what we want and hardworking.
We're very independent, so it can come off as like we don't need anyone, but...
That part, I would say the independence throws off a lot of people, especially men. Because I think whether they're not used to it or they don't like it, I don't know. But
could be both.
it could probably be both. But I think, yeah, it's the independent part. And then, like, if something's on your mind, you speak it. Mm-hmm. And some people just can't handle that.
I think we're very transparent.
Yes.
And we're very, I guess, hardworking in a case where it could come off as intimidating because we get what we want. We live life how we want. And that can come off as, like, I'm not up to your standards, or you're too, I don't know. Yeah, you're too intimidating, but we don't try to be. It's more so just, we know what we want.
So why are we going to settle for something that's not what we want?
That part.
That part. Okay. Let's do level 2. Okay, growth is realizing that blank.
Is realizing that you settled in the past.
Oh, that's a good one. I'll say growth is realizing that being uncomfortable means growth.
Oh. Or even growth means that you're not the same person who you were. Because I believe if you're the same person that you were last year, then you didn't really grow in most areas. Because I can happily say, I don't recognize who I was last year. And That makes me so proud to say that is growth in itself. I don't know who that person is, but I am the same person.
Yeah.
So
You sent me something on Instagram or texting, the whole thing of like growth means that needing to cut people out. Like
yeah,
some people, sometimes with growth, that means that like people that were close in your life at one moment doesn't mean they're going to be there at the next.
because that version of you ended,
Yeah.
meaning that connection had to end. They no longer know who you are.
Yeah. So I think that's a good one.
Who was your first best friend and one thing about them?
Uh, I guess my first best friend that I had for a while was someone I met in 8th grade. He was like my brother. We were friends for probably like 5 years in total, I think. One thing about him, man, I don't know what I could say that's nice. Hence, me and this person aren't friends anymore.
It's the fact that I know it is, so I'm just like,
So,
so pass there.
we'll pass. We'll be nice and not say.
Yeah, we'll keep it PG. I would say mine, it was my best friend that I met in 7th grade. And something about them is they gave me a lot of great memories. I do wish they were still in my life, but I think it's nice to know that a lot of my memories were because of them. So,
That's a good one. Yeah. All right. Oh, is there a pattern you've noticed in my love life? I mean,
I'm gonna go ahead and speak. In Z's love life, I do believe that she has settled. I think that she's okay being that successful person in her relationships, and I think that's all props to her. But I think it's time for her to take a step down and find someone who is willing to treat her like a real queen.
thank you. For you, kind of in the same realm, but I think a pattern maybe. I think you're too nice. Where, like what we were talking about earlier today, people, when they have no right, first of all, to be making demands or saying things, but you're so kind that you're just like you're hearing them out. That'd be like, no, sis. They get the snip right away.
I think I don't know. I feel like I'm always willing to hear someone's side, but that's something I'm trying to work on. Maybe I shouldn't hear your guys' side. Maybe I should just cut you out.
Okay, I think this one's you, but I'll pull it for you.
Oh, I better drink more to answer this one.
Oh, God.
Who in your life leaves you feeling drained? What boundary could you set with them?
Oh, man. It's kind of hard to answer because I feel like I've set boundaries with anyone that makes me feel drained currently. So there's no one in my life that makes me feel drained now.
Amen to that.
But I've had friends where they were very much takers, where it was about them and what they needed. And if for whatever reason I was too busy to hang out, they would kind of guilt trip me and be like, you're going to make me depressed and all this stuff. And I felt like their mental health was my responsibility, which that's not healthy. That's very toxic. So I think my boundary was just starting to be like, you're not a healthy friend for me. Like, we can't be friends anymore.
Yeah. I think to piggyback off of that, it's really just, I really set boundaries, but I feel like I didn't know how to before. And so I would let people walk all over me. I would drain myself because I didn't know how to say no. In the case where I'm like, well, I can't let this person get upset. I can't let this person be let down. But in the case where I was letting myself down, I feel like I show up for others more than I show up for myself. And so I've learned to set boundaries, which is very healthy to say, I can't make it because I need to show up for myself.
Yeah.
I need to learn how to prioritize the gym or prioritize my own mental health. And that does mean saying no to others, which can really be a letdown to others. But in the case where it's been healthy for us, I think that's something to be proud of.
I agree. It's a good answer. What have you been overthinking, or who?
I wouldn't say who. I would say more so like my career is something I overthink. Like what would I do and how I can grow within it, my career. I think that's the only way to really succeed in life. So just overthinking life, overthinking how to succeed, how everyone is my age and they're at a different life point. Maybe I should be further. Kind of just comparing myself, which is really coming back to it's not a journey or it's my own journey. It's not a race, but kind of enjoying life. But I think that's something I overthink on a daily, which takes me away from being present in the moment.
Yeah. I think since my breakup and starting the new job and seeing a new therapist this year, I haven't really been overthinking anything. I think, like, honestly, I've dealt with anxiety for going on 10 years, but this past 3 months, it's been like, I feels like I've never had it, which is crazy.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
We love that.
Yeah. So I think right now I'm not really overthinking anything.
I absolutely love that.
I'm at a really, really good spot right now.
I know we spoke about like this is probably the happiest we've been, or like we're at a really good state in life, and that comes with growth. Like we just spoke about, like that means you're not the same person who you were. To say you're not overthinking anything but still experiencing so many big changes in life, girl, you made it very far, and I'm really proud of you.
Hype me up, sis.
I'm about to drink to that.
All right, your turn. My mic keeps falling, guys, so sorry if you keep hearing me like adjust it.
Oh, describe our friendship. Define moments, get specific, and compare.
Okay.
That's a little hard, but okay.
So describe our friendship. I would say like platonic soulmates.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I feel like my person, that's the girl version of me. I'm the girl version of me. Does that make sense? The like my person, but yeah, the platonic version of like a great soulmate, because it's really hard to find like a platonic version. You always want to find like a loved one, but to find a girlfriend who you can rely on and can support you is really rare. So yeah, literally a platonic soulmate.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'd say that. What were the other questions?
I don't remember.
If not, we can go to the next one. But
We're gonna have to go to the next one.
okay. But yeah, I would say like instantly clicking.
It's like when you know, you know.
Oh, okay. What conversations are you avoiding?
I don't have any. I'm an open book. What do you want to know?
Your deepest, darkest secrets right here on the pod.
You want to know that?
I don't think there's any conversations I'm avoiding. I think anything that's been like remotely dramatic going on in my life, we've already talked about.
Yeah, I pretty much tell you everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know.
It's a wild card. I'll skip. It's kind of hard to pull these cards when you have nails, dude.
I'm like, what do you want to pull? What's one thing you never said to your ex but you wish you did?
Oh, okay. This is a really good one. I won't yeah. I won't
say what. Yeah.
I won't say how recent of an ex this person is. But I
Yeah.
think this is actually something we were talking about earlier in the car about what they had told me the day we broke up. And I never told them how incredibly lame their answer was. I'm trying to like figure out a way to say this on the podcast without it being too revealing.
Yeah.
Basically, I was wanting to stay because, yeah, I love them so much. They were my best friend for so long. And I was trying to give them any little, like, lifeline to prove me wrong that, unfortunately, they were going to drag me down in every single way. And so for the response to that, just to be like such a complacent answer, that was the lamest thing. And so it was just like, well, okay, thank you, you gave me my answer. That was the truth I needed to hear from them as much as everyone else was seeing it, not me, that was what I needed to hear. So as much as much of how disappointing it was, I needed it to hear it. So thank you, X.
Thank you, next. I think for myself, I just feel like I wish I didn't have to be the one to motivate and push, and I'm trying to say like stuff without like specifying,
Yeah.
but I wish them the best. But yeah, that's mine. I think that's all.
If you hear me crunching, I'm
We
having
are eating.
honeycomb dipped in dark chocolate, which is really yummy.
Oh, this is a reminder. Take time to process the good things too.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
That's really good because I think we get so caught up in the bad that we need to reflect and process and like talk about it with friends, but then we don't think about all the good times too. And that's equally just important.
I think we focus so much on the negative because that's like what consumes us. But I think like today I had to take all the beautiful things in. Like, yeah, I was exhausted. Yeah, I was like sleep deprived, but it was a beautiful day. We were at the beach. We had a great meal. Took beautiful photos. I got time to spend with my best friend. Like, it's such a beautiful life. And I feel like that's something you have to just take time and smell the roses. Literally, just enjoy the day and, I don't know, seize the day.
That's being part of being present. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the best, worst thing that's ever happened to you?
My breakup.
I was going to say the same thing.
My breakup. I got to choose myself. I got to really just be my own person. And that's something that's not really talked about often.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a relationship breakup before? What did it teach you?
A relationship breakup before? So just a breakup.
Yeah, both like a friend, not a breakup.
Yeah, I've had a few friend breakups, and I think those suck way more.
Those hurt so much more because you don't see it coming.
Yeah, and like you
invest so much in a friendship. Then like, I think for myself, when in a relationship, I can always like see it ending. It's something where like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
It's part of the risk.
Yeah. But in a friendship, I'm in this for the long run. Like, I'm thinking we're like ride or dies. But to know a friendship, which I have had a couple, and it really breaks my heart because it's like I didn't see that ending. Like all those memories and like times that we have to cherish and like all the promises we made. It's at the end of the day nothing when that wasn't supposed to happen. But a breakup, you can kind of see that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm planning for the worst in that.
No, I think, especially like my recent friend breakup, you don't expect that because you talk about like, oh, this is my best friend. We have each other's back.
Yeah.
Be in each other's weddings, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then over something very preventable.
Petty or something you could have communicated about, but it's like they'll let you go, but they'll take the same guy like 20 times. It's like, pick your struggle.
What are you procrastinating right now? Why does it feel so hard?
I think mine was kind of like what we talked about today with getting our permanent jewelries. Like trying to start my own business. I feel like that's something I can really succeed in. I'm definitely good at the business side. I'm good at the sales side, and I'm good at the marketing side. I'm just procrastinating because I feel like it's a lot to take in. It's a lot of investing. It's a lot of A/B testing. Is it going to work? How can I market? I think I'm just more terrified of my own failures where I don't want to start. But I mean, I can't really fail if I don't start.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I've been procrastinating, just looking into it, seeing how I can start and how I can succeed. But it's always in my back pocket for when I do want to start.
Yeah.
How about you?
For me, it was the podcast. Starting this back up again. And so now I'm starting to get the ball rolling, now recording episodes. And so by the time this airs, I've already recorded a few and just trying to get all like the pre-production planning and everything all strategized. And so I think where I procrastinate with the podcast is just my perfectionism. Like, I want to do this right. I need to like schedule with people, like make sure our calendars work together. And so I just realized I just need to do it and not get so caught up on needing a plan.
Yeah.
So that's...
You got this. You already got one. We're doing it right now.
We're doing number 2. So
What text would you send right now if there weren't any consequences? Oh, that was a really good one.
ooh.
I think for myself, I would text a couple people that I miss them. I think it's always something where I reflect if I'm like passing down like a street or passing somewhere where like I spent time with them. I always want to let them know, but don't really want to deal with that consequence. So I'm gonna let them guess for now or just read my mind. But until then,
Probably this kind of ties into like what's something you wish you could say to your ex. Like that one, probably my like full blown honest opinion about them, but in a constructive way, like as respectful and as honest as I could, if I knew they would actually listen and not get defensive.
yeah,
But
I can second that. I feel like some people need some constructive criticism, but it's not in a place where I'm saying I'm any better. I'm just saying I can see it from a different perspective. I have some notes in my head where I would love to let you know, but I feel like some people can be attacked.
yeah,
And it's not our place, but it's like if I would, if I could, I'd let you know.
yeah, and I'll be the first to admit, I'm definitely no better than this person. I think I was just a lot more willing to listen and not get super defensive. And I know myself. Sometimes I can be kind of very blunt, and that might be part of the reason why this person got very defensive, because I didn't sugarcoat it or fluff it up enough.
But see, I don't feel like you have to do that. I feel like the truth is the truth, whether you sugarcoat it or not.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Whether you want to read between the lines or whether you want to say it very bluntly, that was going to be the truth regardless. So take it how you do.
Yeah.
You're going to hurt some people's ego down the line. So
that's the
you
thing.
take it and you leave it.
Yeah. What's one small thing I've done for you recently that made you feel loved in a big way?
Oh my God. Literally everything. I feel like it's the way you motivate me at the gym or like I can text you for advice and you're willing to show up for me like in a matter of seconds. I always know you got my back. So I feel like that's something again rare in friendships. Some people are just there for you during a season, but I know you got me.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's like the little text where you'll be like, I'm so thankful for you, Z, or like, I love you and appreciate you. Or honestly, when you'll text me like, good morning, like happy Friday, or like, good morning, baby. And I'm like, oh, that feels nice.
Y'all, I'm always here for a good morning text. If your man don't text you, I do. I'm up very early, so.
Oh, another good answer I had was when I was gone camping and I came back and finally had service. I see all your messages like, okay, I miss you. Where are you? Like, come back.
Yo, she went camping for a weekend and I felt like my life was like over. I'm like, my best friend is not here. Like, who do I update with my life? Like, nobody cares, you know? I need Z and Z wasn't here. So she came back to a lot of messages. What's something we used to do for fun that we'd avoid at all costs today?
I'm mid-chewing.
I feel like for myself, like dating for fun, or like just going on dates and stuff, I feel like I want to avoid that at all costs. But I don't know, it was fun before, like getting to know people, but now it's more like I kind of avoid that. I don't want to really spend my free time with people that aren't like in my outside circle. I think it's just when my time becomes very limited, I don't want to just hang out with just anyone.
Yeah.
So.
I would probably say for me, like, quote unquote, the partying. Just like going out all the time, like late nights and all that. I'm very much now, like, I love
grandma
my sleep.
mode.
I'm in grandma mode. Like, I love my sleep. if we're going out, like we went out a month ago.
Oh my God, we had to mentally prepare ourselves.
I literally took a nap before we went out because I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be so tired.
I had 2 Red Bulls. Like, and I was still yawning by 11. The thing is, I'm very much like a grandma. I think that's another thing I'll dread, like going out, benders, like festivals. There's a lot of things like I love, but I think deep down, like I just get that pre-anxiety show going. Like I get that like I can't wait to just go home and be in bed.
Yeah, the raves. Now I'm like, I'll only do one day. I'm not gonna do like a whole weekend.
That part, and I used to love going to like all the shows, all the festivals, and
Yeah.
now I'm like, I think I'd rather be home.
Yeah.
Thank
Pour you
you.
more. Yeah, I'm just like, my body's not 21 anymore. I mean, I'm turning 26, so it's like I'm not old, but
Yeah, we're not old, but
my
we're
body feels old now. I'm like, I don't have the energy.
we are aging like fine wine, but in the
Yes.
case where mentally I'm clocked out by like 9 p.m.
My bedtime is 10.
Literally, if I'm not in bed by 10, we're gonna have some issues. Like
I'm a fight a bitch.
that part.
The bitch be me. I'm gonna fight myself. Like, why did I go past my bedtime?
It's me, I'm bitches.
I mean, when was the last time you were a bad friend? What could you have done differently?
Oh my God, that's a really good question to self-reflect. I think we talked about this in the car today when I told you I wasn't able to open up to my friend and tell her what I was going through.
But that doesn't make you a bad friend, though.
I feel like to not be able to show up for someone and I don't know, in a time where it was exciting for them, but because I was going through something, I let it dim their happiness.
Yeah.
I think is something that I always like think about that and reflect, and I'm like, maybe I was a really bad friend, but I think it's regardless of what you're going through, like communicate it. And I feel like that's something I was lacking on my end. I let the day go and I was like, oh, she probably knows or she can read my mind. Fun fact, they can't read your mind. So communicate.
I guess kind of now with one of the friends that I'm kind of been feeling I need to start letting go. It's just not making as much of an effort to reach out. But it's because, it's because I'm kind of feeling this friendship is
Drifting away.
it's drifting away. And I think for me, that's what's best.
I don't think that makes you a bad friend. I think it makes you realize the friendship isn't worth investing in.
I think it's like the whole thing. People in your life for a season, reason, or lifetime. And I think that season is starting to feel like it's coming to a close. And so, yeah. But, yeah, I wouldn't say it makes you a bad friend. But this is where, like, it's not a me thing to do. So I feel like I'm a bad friend, but.
Yeah, I think it's something where like when you're not acting like yourself, it could be out of character.
Yeah.
And that was like myself.
Yeah.
What have you been extra hard on yourself for lately?
Oh, I would say maybe not like immediately lately, but I think this kind of ties into the whole patterns in my love life of just, how do I phrase it? I think the things I'm reflecting on right now, especially in therapy, is just kind of recognizing my patterns of just being more vocal about what do I want and what are things I'm willing and not willing to put up with, and just speaking up for myself. So I think that's something I was really hard on myself end of last year, beginning of this year. But I think I'm at a place now where I'm like, I think very recently I was able to act on that and speak up and say what's on my mind, even though the other person didn't like it. So I'd say, yeah.
I feel like regardless if they don't like it, we're still gonna speak our minds. So for myself, I feel like I'm really extra hard on myself when like I need a break because I'm always on the go and I feel like I'm a robot that doesn't need any sleep, that doesn't need any rest. And like I've always been like this. Like I love being on the go. To take no breaks is my kind of lifestyle. So the fact that I sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. My body needs a break. I need to not do this, or I need to relax in the gym, or I need to not go out with my friends. I need to just take a nap. I think that's something I don't want to accept. It's a hard pill to swallow that I can't really be on the go constantly. So
Yeah, that's a good one.
we can do like 2 more and then go into 3.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we already did this one.
What are you tired of complaining about?
What do I complain about? I complain about a lot, but what do I complain about?
Guys.
I think I complain about like my love life, but I put myself in those situations. So I feel like after I stop putting myself, I don't really have anything to complain about. I complain about being like bored, but that's because I put myself into a grandma era where I don't do anything besides work and gym. So I put myself in those situations. I have no one to blame but myself. So
Yeah, I think this is part of the being hard on myself, where I like vent or need to talk about the issues I'm having with guys, and then I realize this would easily be solved if I just stopped putting up with BS. So yeah, it's on me.
we're the problem. It's us.
Should we move on to 3?
Wild card. Both players finish the sentence. I'm so proud of you for blank.
Okay. You first or me?
You.
Okay. I'm going to say I am so proud of you for just knowing what you want and speaking up your mind. Because there's a lot of people, guy or girl, doesn't matter, that they don't, whether it's the cojones or the tools or the knowledge of how to speak their voice. A lot of people don't know how to do that. And you very much do. So I think that, like, I'm very proud of that.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it took me a while to get to where I am. So the fact that I can communicate effectively, we're going to do that. I think I'm proud of you for a lot, but I'm going to go ahead and say your growth overall. I feel like hearing what you would say, like what would trigger you and who you were like last year. It's crazy to hear because I'm like, that's not the Z I know. It's not who you are. You don't put up with any of that stuff. And like, now I'm just really proud of you know what you want, you know what you're looking for, and you know what you're going to put up with. Like you said, you're not going to put up with a lot of BS that you used to do. So
yeah, I think the growth that has happened in the past 4 months has been like very drastic. Very, very drastic. I think people that knew me last year would be kind of shocked to see who I am now.
I mean, you get a lot of text messages saying like they're proud of who you are, how you're smiling, how you're glowing.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's just
you
true.
weren't your genuine happy self a few months back, and I know I wasn't in that lifetime, but to hear everyone who sees you now say this is the happiest they've seen you, I'm proud of that alone.
You know, that's a really good point. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of random text messages of saying like, it's so good to see you this happy, or like, I haven't seen you this happy in the years I've known you. And it's comforting because I feel it, but to see that other people recognize it too.
Yeah, that means you're glowing more, and the fact that others see it speaks a lot.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, that's very touching to me.
Oh, that one's level 2, isn't it?
Oh, this is level 2. Okay. Okay, how have you seen me change over time? What hasn't changed at all?
Well, I kind of just answered this.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say anything has not changed. Everything has.
Yeah. For you, I guess this kind of goes into like our conversations about fitness and like about us, confidence from the things you have told me, and just kind of seeing where you're at now. There's definitely a lot of growth, and I think you're finally now coming to a place where like you believe it. So that's also something I'm proud of you for.
Thank you. Thank you. Plan a dream party for me. What is the theme? Who's there?
Oh my god. Glitz and glam. Anything with like red, very bougie. Got like Prada, like all brand names, like super very extra. Like all of it. I would picture like we're going international. Like we're doing a trip out of the country.
Oh.
Like a yacht party, but then also like by the beach. We're just like vibing on like a super nice resort.
So when is this party? Because I'm trying to go. You have me all excited.
Next year, bitch, let's go.
You have me all excited for this party.
That's yeah.
And literally, I'm like, yeah, just that's pretty spot on. Yours could be a different way, but I'm gonna go like a more bohemian style, like a whole like little hippie party.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have more red and black themed everywhere.
Yes.
And I'm gonna have Isaiah, Christian, myself, Justy. Everyone's gonna be there, and we're gonna be partying it up. When are we going? I don't know, but we can go to Zion as well. I'm trying to think. I'm like, where are we gonna have this party? We're gonna do it in Zion. We're gonna have it all like little bohemian hippie style for you. It could be the hippie chicken. We could have a hippie chicken there, and a big peace sign. And we're gonna take photos there with a little photo booth, and then a lot of wine.
Girl, you know me so well. Cheers.
Cheers.
That is very spot on. Yeah, I would like anything where it's traveling or outdoors. That would be my ideal. What is something you can always rely on me for?
Advice, like real advice that you would really just give me your perspective on.
Thank you. For you, I would say your honest feedback. Like, if there's a situation going on, or I'm like, hey, I don't really know how I feel about this, you're just going to give me your honest feedback and not be biased, which is what I really want.
At the end of the day, you always need to hear like a perspective, whether it's your side or another side, but it's always like, this is how I see it. Take it or leave it. But yeah. Have I changed your mind about anything?
Nothing that's coming up to mind. I think what's really nice about us, we're different, but on like big things, we have like the same mindset. So I think when I mean by big things, like goals, ambition, career,
like values and morals are very spot on, very similar, but I think like our hobbies are very different.
Yeah.
But I would say like you've changed my mind. We're like, I want to go camping. I'm like, I'm not a camping kind of girl. I'm more of like a glamping. I'm not gonna be an outdoorsy.
We'll compromise.
Yeah, we'll compromise. But
I'll make it easy for us.
I want to go camping. She's made it kind of sound fun.
It is fun.
I think that's all. I think like everything else, like we're the same, but again, different hobbies that can make you want to be more like outdoorsy or more like whatever the case is.
Yeah, I would agree. This is kind of like all the other questions, like what's growth that you've seen recently? That's been exciting to watch. For me, for you, I'd say the gym. Like, because I lift more. I'm more like weightlifting. And so you're starting to like pick up on that and do it yourself. And so when you show me your little videos that you do when I'm not there, like, or you're bumping up in weight, I was like, oh yes, my little gym baby.
I think for you, it's finally choosing yourself. Like finally knowing your worth and not really letting others decide for you. Like seeing you can really, I guess, go a long way with your own decision is really amazing to know, like, this is how I want it. And if you don't show up for me, then that's it.
Yeah.
Like you're really great with like, making big decisions and yeah.
Thanks.
What inside joke of ours will never stop being funny?
I was literally just going to say that. I was like, does that count as an inside joke? But, so, I'm the type of person when I try something new, I'll sip it and go like, I gotta like smack the lips around to get the flavors. And the first time her and I had a drink together, she did the exact same thing. And my brother was like, what the heck? Like, we've never met anyone else do it. So it's just, we already know. We're like, oh yeah, it's really good. Like, so I think, yeah,
I think that was the first thing that came to my mind because I'm like,
I was thinking about that. But I was like, is that inside joke? I'm like, yeah, I guess it.
I think it would be that and like today with like the cake. I feel like nobody else would understand that video, but to keep like slicing.
We had flan at the restaurant And I was like, here, you have the rest. And she's like, no, I don't want it. So he kept splitting the piece in halves until it was literally like a crumb. Because we didn't want to be the last one to have it.
I feel like nobody else would understand that. We were like crying, laughing.
That was really funny.
That was so funny. And like, I don't think anyone else would understand it, but like, we do. It says write down, but we can just say it. Write down a memory where we share it together that makes you smile just thinking about it. 30 seconds, compare. I'm gonna say with all of today.
Today's a big one. Pizza making.
Oh my god. Yeah, pizza making.
We made homemade pizzas like completely from scratch. And that was just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's my Remy to my linguine.
Yeah, I'm the Remy to her linguine.
Spent a whole day laughing, but I think it would be that or today for me.
No.
I think both days are chef's kiss.
And that's just so far.
I know. I'm like, it's only 2 months into this friendship. Y'all stay tuned. What do you think I need to hear right now?
I would say you're doing great. Keep pushing. Like, you have a really good head on your shoulders. And you're a lot farther ahead than you might recognize. And so if there's moments where you're kind of getting in your head or like doubting yourself, whether it's the gym or work or your love life or anything, just remember, like, dude, you're doing so fine.
I needed to hear that. I'm like, wait, I needed to hear that. I think for yourself, I feel like you've come such a long way, Z, and like, I don't think you realize it enough, but everyone else realizes it. You're glowing, you're so happy, you do what you want, and you choose yourself. Mm-hmm. You weren't in that place a few months back. And
No.
I think that says so much. Like, I think it's weird to say, like, it's only a few months ago, but you're not the same person you were a few months ago. And I think it's really amazing just to keep going, keep pushing, because you're not going to be the same person you are now in July and August. Mm-hmm. So that's something to know, but you're doing great.
Thank you. What's a philosophy of mine that you would like to adopt?
Oh.
If this one's too hard, we can do another one.
It's a little hard. I'm like, a philosophy.
Yeah.
I think it's more like about your perspective on life and how like happy you are despite the little hiccups in life. I think like just your perspective on mental health is something I'm like, oh, what would Z do?
For you, I think you execute it in a very like kind of like a funny but kind of like sassy way, but very much of the like, hey, like I love me, I'm doing me. I would say I kind of have it, but the way you do it, it's just it's like very sassy. And so sometimes, like, like, I can be a little sassy sometimes. I think that'd be good for me. What do you want me to remember the next time I'm having a hard day?
That you're going to get through it just like you've gone through every other hard day. Mm-hmm. It's something that you can't accomplish. It's always like, you think you can't do it because it's the hardest thing you've come across, but you've come across other things that you think are the hardest, but I'll get through it.
Yeah, I've said this on the podcast before, but like you've survived all your worst days. So the worst day you're having right now, like,
won't be your last, and doesn't mean you won't survive it.
Yeah, so you'll be okay.
Both players set an intention for your friendship?
I would say, my intention would be just to keep, like a plant or like a flower, like you water it, you feed it, like putting the effort to make it grow.
Yeah.
If you're ever coming to me for advice or an opinion, just always giving you my honest feedback in a non-biased way, because I know you'll do the same for me.
What was the hardest for you to open up to me about? What made you feel safe?
You had texted me a while ago, like, what's the darkest time? And I haven't had a chance to talk about it yet just because the time hasn't come up. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say that will probably be the hardest thing I open up to you about, but there's no hesitations from me. Like, as she's dying and laughing at like a very intimate time.
Oh my god, not me choking on my own saliva.
Yeah, I would say that it just hasn't come up yet, but I know it's going to come up soon. But I know you're going to be you're just going to be there for me. You're just going to like hear me out and listen. And, but yeah, I'm not hesitant to share that with you.
Yeah, I think mine was today. That was something that I haven't really opened up about. And I feel like, I mean, I've lost a friend because I wasn't able to really open up about that. So I think it's something that, and it wasn't really uncomfortable by any means. I think it's being able to be confident within my own past and being able to say that it's a part of my story, but it's not me. I think really I'm an open book around you because you just make me feel very safe. So it's like, it's not hard, but it was something that I think took a while because it's something it's hard for me to accept.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something really that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. I think let's do one or two more.
That's it.
Yeah. And then
Wrap it up.
we'll wrap it up. When was the last time you felt lucky to be my friend?
Today. I'm like, after a great day, I'm just always like, oh, like I'm just so happy God sent me a friend like I can actually rely on. And then it's just there for me to make me smile. Even like, I'm happy with her at the gym. Like, it doesn't even have to be like a whole fancy day. This is our first day where we actually got dolled up and we actually had a real date. We're usually at the gym. Our dates are at the gym.
This is true, yeah. Like, we've been friends for 2 months, but this is the first time where we actually did something just the two of us that wasn't the gym.
And it's like, even at the gym, I'm like, oh, I'm just so happy to like have her. Like, I can go get some water, and she already racked up my weight. And I'm like, oh, I'm so happy to have her. Like, that's like the little things. Like, you guys don't get it. It's acts of service for me. So it's like the little things in life. I'm like, that was so sweet. Or even getting like a happy Friday text. It's the little things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I would say for me, the gym is a big one because I was going to the gym with an ex and then having to go by myself kind of was a little poopy at the beginning. But now, like, I have a gym buddy that's you. And then I think that, like, literally we talk every day, which I don't think I've had that with any other friend before. And literally about anything. Like, okay, like whatever's going on, just like literally about anything, or like, oh, I'm gonna do this now, this, like, I'm doing this, like updating about our day.
I think on our first date, we were even like, even at the gym, we were like, yeah, we're very independent. Like, we don't need someone to be like, oh, this is what we're doing. Like, I don't need to update anyone. It's not the thing where I'm like, I need a friend to update. It's more like, that's just my person. Like, I just want to, like, this is what I did today. Or like, hey, like, how are you? Like, I don't know. It's usually like, that's not it's not the kind of person I am. But I think with the right people, you do want to communicate. And like, yeah.
I would just say, yeah, I just would say in everything, this is the friendship I had been praying for a long time.
Y'all hear that?
And so I'm very thankful for you.
Likewise. Yeah. I'm very honored to be your friend.
I love you.
I love you more. I'm like, this is my favorite thing ever. I love that.
If you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, this is I love you in sign language. So we now send this as an emoji. Like, I love you. But yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thanks for tuning in.
I hope you thought this was interesting, or maybe as you're listening to some of our answers, you can reflect on your own answers about it. Yeah, again, I thought this would be fun to do just because how we did me is not conventional.
It's very unorthodox, like, so there's a lot of things to like not uncover, but there's a lot to like get to know about a person. So what better way to do it than over wine and some snackies?
Yeah, and I think like it's not taboo to date people online, but maybe it's a little taboo, quote unquote. Like I think not a lot of people are as open of sharing like, hey, I met this girl, I met this guy on Bumble or online as a friend. Mm-hmm.
But we did, and this is honestly, you're a way to go on Bumble, make a friend.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would honestly recommend it to anybody.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
It's as an adult, if you're not in college, if you're not in a club,
if you work from home, it's it's difficult to find people with like-minded values, and
It's
yeah.
just hard to meet people in general.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for
Hope you
listening.
enjoyed.
Yes, yeah. Definitely, yeah, not definitely. Yeah, no, I was going to say probably, but anyway.
It's been a
It's
long
been a
day.
long day.
It's past your bedtime.
Yes.
So.
Tune in for the next one. Enjoy, guys. I hope the video quality, if you're watching from Spotify or YouTube, you can tell a difference. I bought a new camera for the podcast, and so not filming on my iPhone anymore. We actually have a camera.
Bougie.
Bougie. I'm gonna splurge and buy a second camera so we can get some angles. So we're like bumping up the quality little by little. But yeah, enjoy, guys, and see you in the next one.
Deuces.